Though.
It was my Christmas was freaking awesome, bro. Like it was amazing. It was fun. We got King a recliner. It's like he's like a grown man now. So it's cool, bro. How was your Christmas?
Christmas was great. Yeah, my nephew's getting big. He's a mess.
Yeah, we were just
Christmas was hands full.
I was gonna say before you hopped on, we were just having this like conversation, just like kind of trading stories back and forth about like, King is like walking and running now, and I'm just like, dude, it's all downhill from here.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun, but I'm looking forward to this. Like how we met teenage year going up, like seeing like our young lads and how it's gonna be as us growing up, like us being like old men and seeing them grow up. It's gonna be so dope. I can't wait. I can't wait. But yo, how y'all feel about this live action though, bro?
I have something to say to both of y'all because Deron's been every time I talk to Deron the past couple of weeks, he's just been laughing at me like that. I love you both. I really do. But I will never forgive you guys for making me waste 5 hours on this bullshit.
It was not that bad.
Okay.
All right. Let's get into this.
Hold on.
Listeners, welcome back to the New Block Nerds podcast. I am your host, Chris, aka Prince. Deron, aka Meta Grizzly, is here, as well as my brother Cardell. Guys, let me just say this before we get into this. Folks who have Netflix out there who are thinking of watching this, if you have never heard of Yu Hakusho or you've never watched the anime, please, for the love of God, do not watch this until you watch the anime first. Because if you watch live action first, I can say with 98% guarantee it will make you not want to watch the anime. Because they cut out so they condensed like 80 episodes into 5.
And not even 5 long ones. The first one's an hour, and the last 4 are like 37 minutes to 47 minutes. And the damn credits are 7 minutes long.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go against you real quick on something. I'm not trolling at all. I'm being completely honest with you.
I hope you're not, because I can get to your house pretty quick.
I personally am going to disagree with you about if you have not seen the animation and actually watched the live action, that it's not going to make you want to watch the animation. I think what they did will make people actually want to go watch the animation. Because it's like, if you watch it, there's no way you're going to even know things are missing because you never watched the animation. So you're
okay, that's fair. That's fair.
You probably watch the things. Oh, this is so cool.
That's fair. However,
and almost like because a movie that's broken down in episodes. That's how much like it feels like. But then when they actually watch the animation, they're gonna come back and say, "Okay, that was trash, the live action one." But for those who love the animation first, they basically like, "Where's Genkai?" The emotional connection to even her and who she is was never even brought up at all. Like the entire thing of Yusuke, and I am laughing, and I'm gonna say Naruto is king for life because of this. How do you X out Genkai? How do you not even put the emotional thing at all? If you don't want to do the third B saga at first, I get it. If you don't want to do that and you want to go right to the tournament, the tournament should have been all season 1. How do you skip past everything inside the tournament?
But this is the problem when you try to condense 70, 80 some odd episodes into 5, and you skip an arc entirely. You skip the entire Saint Beast arc. It doesn't exist here
at all.
And then you've got Tarugane, Saki to open up the demon tunnel, and the tournament all running at the same time, simultaneously.
Just all concurrently. It is all the same.
It's just so. No, I don't feel like people can really attach themselves to any of the characters in the live action because it moves so fast, bro. You're just like breezing by points. Oh, this happened. 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 You don't get a chance to even see any of the characters' growth, or to develop any attachment towards the characters.
So let me be real with y'all. They made season 1, like the way season 1 was constructed, it was as if the producing team knew that they had no shot at season 2. Because here's why. Because if you thought that this could run for 3 or 4 seasons, You don't condense 80 episodes into 5 because you only have 30 more episodes to adapt after the Dark Tournament. You have, I'm sorry, not 30. You only have probably maybe like
50, 60
to adapt. You have the Chapter Black, and then you have the Demon Tournament, if they're even going to do that. But the way that they condense the first 70 or so episodes to 5, they might do Chapter Black and the Demon World thing in 4 episodes. If they even get a season 2, like it just felt like
that's maddening.
It felt like they knew that this was going to get canned after season 1, so they just said, "Fuck it, we're going to put everything in there. We're going to put everything in there." But Duran, to your point, like the Genkai thing, and Cardell, to your point as well about like they just breeze through everything. There's no emotional stakes here. There's no emotional stakes. Number one, he was with Genkai for 20 days. How the fuck is he supposed to beat Toguro after only training with Genkai for 20 days? The spirit orb thing, I was waiting after it like went into his, like, you know, in the anime where like it like goes into his body and he like waits for a couple of seconds and then it starts tearing him apart. I was waiting for that and then it didn't happen and I was like, what the fuck is this? What is this?
Yo,
this is the easiest training regimen of all time.
Genkai's death happens off camera.
Happens off screen. They killed her off screen. Like what?
Okay,
bro. There's so many issues here. There's so many issues here. Kuwabara outtrains him at Genkai's. Yusuke's not even as strong if you're really looking at it. He loses to Hiei. He never beats Hiei.
True.
Like, you just made him this weak guy that didn't know what the hell was going on for half the show, and just like, oh, I'm gonna get serious, and then he wins.
Okay. So, I gotta tell you guys also once this whole thing. So, I sent you guys a group message when it first came out. I'm sorry, I'm laughing so hard. I fell asleep.
Dude, you're a fucking masochist.
I fell asleep with episode 1. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I fell asleep. I had to rewatch episode 1 like 3 times to get through it. Only because, first of all, the personalities is what made Yu Yu Hakusho so great.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hear Dimwit one time. I didn't hear nothing, none of the actual like back and forth, like just Kuwabara and them talking back for each other, like far as like just the brotherhood / the competitive nature. You're never going to beat me. I'm gonna whoop your ass. Everything about
Kuwabara full.
It was like G-rated, bro. They literally watered it down to the point that anybody could be in Yusuke. Nothing about him was special. And then as you progress with characters, as you mentioned, just the overall feel of the entire city is that they just, like you said, hey, we're not getting season 2, so let's just put all of it in one jump shot. The Dark Tournament should have been all season.
It wasn't even a tournament. They all went to one island to fight. That was it.
96 type thing where everybody separated and went to their own little ventures and like, I'm gonna fight you here. It gave you Mortal Kombat vibes. It gave you complete Mortal Kombat Goru vibes, and I thought it was hilarious. The reason why One Piece is gonna be better than this because the East Blue was only a small section, and that's what they focused on.
Right.
That's what they should have did for this, but they didn't.
I agree. I don't know why, because here's my thing. If like I feel like this show could easily be 3 or 4 seasons if they didn't rush through everything. Like honestly, you could have done, if you made season 1 10 episodes, and maybe they just didn't have the budget, they didn't get greenlit for more than 5 episodes. But to me, if you give a damn about the source material, I would look at you saying, all right, I'll greenlight you for 5 episodes. Basically an hour a piece is that's your box you can work in. I'm like, this isn't enough. I can't do this project. This isn't enough. And that's how you know that there's no one in that room who gave a damn about the source material, because there's no way that you can say, we're going to go up to the end of the Dark Tournament. You have 5 hours to do it. I would look at you and be like, you're asking me to make you a peanut butter or jelly sandwich with a fucking tire.
Chris, to build on that, they did this.
I can't do it.
So it was
properly.
It was 100% just a one shot. We're just going to throw this bullshit together and see what sticks, because there's no possibility that they thought about doing a reboot. How are you going to do the Demon Tournament? The Demon Tournament is dependent on Kurama recruiting a whole bunch of people from the Dark Tournament who you never introduced.
Yep.
I knew there was going to be problems from the jump, like 5 minutes in, when Kuwabara and Yusuke have their first fight, and 90% of that fight is off camera. We just see Kuwabara get thrown into his buddies.
Well, here's the thing, though, Carter. Here's the thing, and here's the one thing I will give this series: the fight scenes looked great. I thought the fight scenes were good. I thought the fight scenes were surprisingly really, really good.
But the fact that you had to cut stuff on the first fight that we're supposed to see Yusuke have lets me know that there was issues with the budget, there was issues with the creative direction, and that it was just going to be downhill from there.
Yeah, they because I think probably, and I'm speculating here, but probably because that first fight is very human based. There's not a lot of like crazy fight stuff going on that we're just like, let's cut this and we're going to save all the budget for the demon fights and like, Dragon of the Darkness Flame and Rose Lips and all that
stuff. It's human based. There's no budget for that.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
So
that's true.
Already tells me it's like your priorities were not in order when y'all made this.
Yeah,
that's the first time we're supposed to see Yusuke fight and then be like, oh, okay, he got hands. Like,
right.
He's somebody to be respected or to at least be feared. You don't get that. You get a little bit of comedic stuff because Kuwabara's Band-Aid rips off his nose and stuff like that, but you don't get.
Oh man.
You don't get that You don't get that character development.
Yeah, it was just so rushed. Like I was watching it and I would like see certain things from like the anime that they put in, and I would kind of like chuckle to myself, like, "Oh, okay, they put that in there. That's cool, whatever." But I felt like a lot of those things, and the reason why I laughed at them, they were just so gratuitous. They were just like, "This happened in the anime, so let's just throw it in there." You know what I mean?
On the radio while the guy's sitting in the truck.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, there's some things I also want to mention to you guys about. You guys love Yu Hakusho. If I'm correct, that's like y'all number one of all time. I know you love.
It's my favorite anime of all time, which is why I'm so animated about this.
So freaking comical for me because they butchered this. And
your favorite anime is something like Vinland Saga. We don't have to worry about that getting the live action adaptation.
Why it's so comical is because you literally had a tournament where all you needed was people to actually participate in fight scenes and a stage inside of one scene, and you butchered that. Think about it. You didn't have to go to Dragon Ball Z shit, space to space. All you needed was a dome, an actual tournament that they have every single weekend for jiu-jitsu or karate. All you need is to get a bunch of them people and actually there's no Jin in this one. There's even the funeral scene when he actually died, him trying to get his soul back in his body, which is the part that got people as a fan watching animation, like, darn, I want him to come back. I want him to do things. Was eliminated.
Yep.
There was no real, like the fire. There was nothing about this that made me fall in love with the characters.
Nope.
And I find that amazing because if you actually
can't fall in love with the characters in 5 hours.
No, that's what I'm saying about it. But the animation wise, no, I disagree with you on that because I disagree with you hardly on that. Because One Piece has more fans now because that live action who never even watched One Piece and they fell in love with the characters off of the short section. What happened is you bit too much off the plate.
Yep.
All you had to do was do a small little sample size. You got greedy and said, I want to do all that. When you should have said, you know what? I can't do that. I can only do this with this time you guys are giving me. But you decided, like, you know what? Cool. I'm going to put everything in one shot, and you put out fucking trash.
Yeah. And Duran, to your point, I feel like I understand you got to cut some stuff out because you can't do 112 episodes. You just can't do it, right? That's fine. I think they still could have cut out the Saint Beasts. And they could have started the arc where you get introduced to Hiei and Kurama with Goki, with the orb, and them, stealing the souls of the little kids. And then from there, you jump right into Tarukane's stronghold.
Mm-hmm.
And then the end of the season is them defeating the Toguro brothers for the first time. And then you could do like the end credit scene of them coming back.
Because it gave you hope that he actually Toguro was beatable. They never even had that in this entire thing.
But again, because they didn't have that, because there was no intention of doing anything past this.
Nope.
They knew they were no second season, and they just said, okay, we're just going to stuff as much bullshit in here as we can.
Yeah, because that could have worked beautifully. Like, could you imagine if we had 10 episodes, even 8? I think you could have even done it in 8, where you have you introduce Hiei and Kurama with Goki, and then they get past that, and then the rest of the season is them storming the stronghold, fighting Toguro at the end. Like the last episode could be them fighting Toguro. That could be the entire episode, just one big fight, right, with them. And then at the end, after the credits, you have them come back, and Toguro kills Tarukane, all the other kind of stuff. And now you're setting up the Dark Tournament. So now all of season 2 was a Dark Tournament.
I blame the fans for this.
Chapter 3 is Chapter Black, and Chapter 4 or season 4 is Demon Tournament. There you go. I just did your job for you, Netflix.
I love
You're
that.
welcome.
I love your scheme. I love the fact of Cardell, how you feel about it, and I love that. That actually would have worked, Prince. That would have worked a lot with that whole layout.
Because you end on a cliffhanger of like, oh my god, the Toguro brothers were so strong, but they actually didn't get beat. What are they going to do now?
Because it makes you feel like I'm going to draw back for season 2, and the reason
right. You also get some more time with Genkai in season 1, and then maybe the first 2 episodes when they're on the boat going to Hanging Neck Island, you can get a couple of montages of him training with Genkai.
Bro.
So then when she dies by like episode 7 of season 2, you give a fuck. We actually are going to care then.
The boat scene and them traveling to the tournament was what? What was that for? What was that for? Fans, if you are listening right now,
going to Hanging Neck Island. That's it. Just for the shot of Hanging Neck Island. That's it.
Genkai was supposed to be a part of that. The overall flashback and the bring connection to the past and the actual current time of her in her younger form. Also, on top of that, it shows how intense it actually was for the orb and how he had to actually be out of it for a while.
She's been cultivating that for decades.
It came where the power came from. But no, you just want to say, he's going to take it like it's a drink of water, and then
they could have done the first 10 episodes could have been Yusuke realizing he's dead, getting his body back, running through Goki, Kurama, Hiei, right? They could have ran that. They could have still done Saint Beast. That would have been the first time seeing the team work together and having the stakes raised since it was coming from Demon World. That could have been 10 episodes second season, 10 episode third season to Rukune's Castle. By that point, we've built everything up, and at the cliffhanger on that, you could have a longer fourth season for the Dark Tournament. But again, they obviously either didn't have a budget, or Netflix was just like, we're going to do a bunch of one shot, one season shits. We're going to do One Piece. We're going to do and see what sticks. We're going to do Yu Hakusho. I heard they're going to do My Hero Academia.
They better not. They better leave that. No,
they definitely should. You would laugh at my favorite anime being butchered. Go ahead and do it.
You know what? Actually, you guys might disagree with me on this, but this is how I feel. I blame you guys for this. I blame you Haka fans for this. And the reason why I'm going to tell you why I blame you guys for this. This is why
you like good stuff.
You sound stupid already.
No. Hear me out. Let me finish. I actually
you blame the fans who didn't.
I'll tell you why.
All right, go ahead.
I'll tell you why. The One Piece fans, the Attack on Titan fans are so obnoxious when it comes to anybody messing with their material that their world and everything speaking on it, they would call it toxic in a sense, but they know not to mess that up because they will lose so many fans and so much money and people would not watch it. That's why they had them slowly on One Piece thing, make sure it was fucking good. We had trailers, we had everything. It was a slow roll because they knew the One Piece fandom was going to say something and destroy anything that was put out was bullshit. But people who actually like Yu Hakusho, like this whole GOAT discussion, for people who like Yu Hakusho, I don't hear anybody freaking carrying a torch for them. I think for One Piece fans, I don't hear that. Dragon Ball Z fans, they will fight you for the one on. They know about the one movie that was terrible. But Netflix would never touch a One Piece program or Attack on Titans program with bullshit like this. Because they have no fear. I
think it's a terrible. I think it's a terrible reason. It's a terrible reason.
You guys don't speak.
It's a terrible reason.
You guys accept everything. The GOAT discussion should never have Dragon Ball Z over Yu Hakusho ever.
I mean, I agree with you. It should never. I think because
you have a terrible. This is a terrible point. First off, what did you
The truth is that the money goes to the actual people.
No,
you would not do that to One Piece program because they know One Piece will not watch it. They won't do that.
The general public, just because you just compared it to. You just compared it. My emotions are not in it. I'm thinking strictly logic. You compare it to DBZ. Most of the people like DBZ are don't even know what a fucking good anime is. That's number one. So what the general public believes has nothing to do with what is actually true.
Real quick, because I do want to clarify what you said about DBZ fans. I do feel like, without like talking down on them, I feel like a lot of people who are DBZ fans are not anime fans. Like a lot of people who watch DBZ and love DBZ don't actually watch other anime. It's like it might be like your uncle who doesn't like comic book stuff. He might like The Dark Knight, but he's not watching anything on Disney Plus.
He's not watching the Arkham Marvel movies. Yeah. You
get what I'm saying? So like I do feel like, Carter, you do have a point where like you're talking about like the DBZ fans, like people who are like, I mean, and how often have we talked about this? If you say DBZ is your favorite anime, then you're not an anime watcher, because it can't be. I'm sorry, just based on just pure quality, you can't say DBZ is your favorite if you've watched 10 other animes.
But speaks, it matters,
right? And that's the thing,
matters.
Right? And
it does really matter.
And maybe like you said, maybe their strategy, maybe Netflix's strategy, which I think is a dumb strategy, is to say, all right, we got all these popular animes, we're going to make live actions of all of them, and they're going off of volume, not necessarily quality. They're going quantity over quality, right? And they're just like, whatever. Oh, people like One Piece, cool. They don't like Yu Yu Hakusho. Oh well, we'll just move on to fucking Naruto or My Hero Academia or something like that. Like, if you think Naruto was not around the corner,
watch your mouth.
If you think Naruto's not around the corner, you're fooling yourself.
Don't speak that ill will of me. Don't do that.
I'm just telling you, it's coming.
Don't do that.
If we're being honest, all right, Yu Yu Hakusho came out in 1993, right? Yeah. When did One Piece come out?
In the States.
Yeah. So it's got the demographic that gravitates towards that. One is a lot older. It's not a younger generation, which is really what drives a lot of sales, right? So it's an older demographic that, one, is working. Kids don't necessarily got the time to be online talking about it, defending the anime the way that Naruto, One Piece, My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan people are.
I mean, maybe.
One Piece started in 99, bro.
What?
One Piece started in 99 or 97. It says One Piece first appeared in manga comic book form.
Yeah. And it's also still ongoing.
No, I get it. No, I get that.
Right. So you have you got something that's 30 years old.
I got that.
Compared to something that's still on currently with new episodes. Like, you're going to have different levels of anticipation. You're going to have different levels of draw.
I just feel the fear of Netflix and the company. They're not going to put out bullshit they know is going to lose them money. Versus something like this, I
would disagree with that.
They don't care.
I would disagree with that. Death Note was clear that they don't care about losing money. They'll try shit without necessarily thinking they'll be successful.
I just think, again, I think they're trying to just throw a lot at the wall and see what sticks. Which I think is the wrong strategy. I understand that from a business perspective, you're trying to spread as much as you can and see where your cash cow is, and then just like lean into that. But I think this is me speculating. I'm not in Netflix's offices. I don't think they have a lot of anime fans there that are helping them produce these things. You can't, when you look at the quality of the stuff, because I think that if you took your time, like you took your time with One Piece, if you took your time, because it looks like they're taking their time with Avatar,
but because if the blunder that happened before.
Right, exactly, and maybe that is a point against this Yu Yu Hakusho show, is that this is the first time it's ever been attempted. So hindsight's 2020. I mean, I just feel like some of the things that they did, I feel like if you had someone who really cared about the product in the writing room or in the producing room somewhere along the process, could have been like, hey guys, I know I'm not the high guy on a totem pole here, but I gotta say, I've watched this show. I have a lot of friends who are anime fans who love this show. What is on the storyboards currently looks like dog shit. Just saying.
You know what's crazy, bro? I've heard a lot of positive things about the anime. People actually like the live action. And I have seen it a lot online. Yeah, a lot of people have it's, and I think maybe because. And like
maybe you've never seen the anime.
Like even me and Carl joked about this before. If I expected it to be a 2 out of 10, it was a 3 out of 10. It still sucks. Objectively, I think it still sucks, but it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Would it have sucked if you? Well, you can't really answer this question. We got to ask somebody to watch it who never watched the anime. That's the people question to ask, because I think if their intention was to bring them light to the anime, they did their job with those fight scenes. Or as far as budget card to my time wise, that's what I think most of their budget went to was those fight scenes and made it look beautiful because those stick in people's mind, not so much the actual story. People care about the short clips and the highlights and the dunks, not really like the passes. So when it comes down to the storyboard, they said, well, I got to put 10 stacks on the fight scene for graphics of this one. Because it looked great. It really did.
It did look good.
Great.
Like the fight scenes
as much as
really good.
As much as I complain, it did have good points. Fight scenes were good. It did look good. But again, like
the film was trash.
It feels wasted when you don't get the development that makes all those fights meaningful.
Yeah. Damn, bro.
Yeah, it's tough, and I would say to Netflix to don't do this quantity over quality thing. Like, take your time, put the resources into these animes because you already have a built-in fan base. It's honestly no different than adapting a comic book live action, and we've seen how much money you can make off of that over the last 20 or so years. It's literally the same concept. You already have decades worth of stories and decades worth of fandom already built in. All you have to do is not butcher it. All you have to do is take your time and listen to what the fans of this already established IP is asking you to do with it.
Like, personally for me, bro, like even Yu Hakusho, all the fight scenes he had, one of the coolest fight scenes I had was earlier in the actual series when they actually were trying to get Genkai's power, special move, and they were inside the dark and the pit and everything was light and the cigarette was flicked in there. Mm-hmm. Like, that was like one of my favorite fight scenes in the entire series.
Mm-hmm.
If you watched this live action, you would have never even known about that.
No.
It means like
there's so much that you don't get in this.
Risk on things. He just looked at things based on
not just that. There's a lot of aspects of fight scenes within Yusuke that also play off of his personality, like him shooting the mirror and it hitting Hiei. What would have happened if that didn't work? When did you know that worked? About 10 minutes ago. What would happen? What would have happened if that didn't work? I guess I got sliced to a million pieces. I guess.
Well, that's a great point that you bring up because there was one instance when he was fighting Hiei where I was like, oh, classic Yusuke move, where he's fighting Hiei, and because Hiei's so fast, he kind of like, I don't even know how he does it, but he kind of like flips over and he's like hanging upside down in the air, and he's like point blank range with Hiei. And then he loads his spirit gun, like right in Hiei's face. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely a thing Yusuke would do. Like hang upside down, do something completely unorthodox just so you can try to get a good shot in. I'm just like, okay, yeah.
Right. Or like when he's fighting Rando and he just so happens to fall into the, well, not Rando, do before Rando. He just so happens to fall down into the swamp. Yes. Then the next fight, when he's fighting Rando, because he fell in the swamp and he had swamp algae in his ears, he didn't hear Rando giving the right. There's so many like little nuances you don't get because you have to rush through so much of that show, which hampers the character development to the point that you don't care enough about the characters, in my opinion.
Yeah, because Duran, to your point, I understand how maybe from a business perspective, maybe the Netflix folks were thinking, all right, we got to focus on the fight scenes. But I think, and even though Yu Hakusho is your very, very classic shonen anime, I think the reason why people like us love that show is not because of the fights. We love it, to your point, because of the characters. And you don't get that character development here. Like you don't get all those instances of Yusuke having those classic Yusuke moments, so that when things do happen to Yusuke or his friends, you care, because it's not just I'm a fighter, you're a fighter, let's fight and see who's strongest. And I feel like that's all of this was just a bunch of just people fighting, and I just didn't care. I just didn't care.
Even the transformation to the fox form at the end, I'm like, you understand what he had to go through to get back to that? Like you don't understand,
Yeah,
like this man, even like the different items of beating the clown and what the different items meant. Like these all like were so significant in the future of what happens to even beating Team Toguro. Like they didn't just walk in there and beat them. Like you had to actually,
because they would have had no shot without those items. Let's be real.
You had to earn these stripes, and like even transformation form. Like how do you like not tie the emotion of him wanting to protect his mom? Like it's so much this human mother. Like it was a hot garbage in my personal opinion, but that's just me.
Yeah. So 3 out of 10 for me. What do you guys got?
Depends on who it is. Like I said, depends if anime fans do actually.
He's asking you.
No, I'm asking you specifically.
For me personally,
mm-hmm.
It was comical. I'll give it 2 out of 10. It was fucking hilarious. I can't lie. Like even because you know too much. You know too much.
Really trying to be objective.
Be objective.
I'm gonna give it a 4.
You're full of shit.
That's honestly fair because it wasn't hot garbage. Like,
it wasn't like
the scenes were really good. The special effects were really good. The story was just
rushed and lots was hella rushed and lots was cut out. But I think, like you said, the fight scenes were good. It looked great. I didn't have too many problems with the costume design outside of Karama's fucked up wig. So like
anything that deal with words you hated. Think about what you said. The fight scenes are cool. Uniforms are cool. Choreography's cool. Graphics cool. Anything that dealt with them talking and dealt with story and actual carrying the weight of words was trash.
Yes, and which is why I love Yu Hakusho is because of the character dynamic.
We just said that even makes that even relevant as an anime series was non-existent.
Yeah, that's why it's trash.
That's why it's trash.
That's what I'm saying. Just think about that. Like, let's even have a general conversation about
to me
boardroom, the emotional connection. Yeah, we're going to dump all that out. We're going to just put these cool fight EBZ style graphics and everything else, and we're going to catch 1 million fans. They're going to watch this. We're also Yu Hakusho anime live now, live and also animation available on Netflix. People will come subscribe. It's going to
so you cut 60% of the story, so I cut 60% of the score.
That's fair.
Crazy. It's just, the more you think about it out loud, like there's no way, like to y'all's point, that someone in that boardroom actually watched the full anime.
No.
There's no.
It's probably a situation like it was with Warner Brothers and DC, where there's probably their juniors and under them are like, hey, and they're just like, shut up, you don't get paid enough to make that decision. Okay, make the decision that costs the company hundreds of millions of dollars.
Because you're just flushing this money down the toilet.
But that's what you're doing.
The difference.
No one's going to rewatch this.
You might as well just let me gamble this on the Jets every week if you're just going to flush it down the drain.
He said the Jets. Yuck. Sorry, any Jets fans out there. Y'all caught us straight today.
Yeah. The fact that it's 5 episodes and like it took me like a week and a half to watch it is crazy.
That's my point too. It was a chore.
And Cardinal
I have not had a.
It got shorter and shorter as it went. It wasn't like long hour episodes. These were like
it was like an hour, 44 minutes, 40 minutes, 37 minutes, 30 minutes.
And like Paul, I talked to Paul. I was hoping Paul on this one. Paul said, "Yo, did you watch this?" I said, "Not yet." He's like, "Yeah, when you finish, we're gonna talk." I can feel the heat. Like he was mad. He was so mad because he loves Yu Hakusho. So like for you to even mention that, like people that like love this show, they was ready to box. Like they was ready to scrap the director. Like, yo, like come here, we gotta run a favor real quick for putting this out. Like there's no way you thought this was okay. Like who told you this? This is not.
I don't want to box to the director. I want to box the director. Well, a little bit, but I more so want to box the execs at Netflix that said, "Hey, you only have 5 episodes to work with." Now, if they told him that, and his idea was, "Oh, I'm gonna do 70 episodes in 5 episodes," then yeah, I want to catch his fate. But if he was just giving instructions like, "Yo, you're gonna do Dark Tournament up to this point," actually, I'm still gonna catch his fate because he should have just said no.
Yeah, I feel like you just have to say no at that point. And I don't know his situation. Maybe he just needed the money or whatever. But all money ain't good money, man. Because let me tell you something. You putting this out for whatever they paid you for, it's not going to land you any more jobs. No one's going to. You're not. If you get another job after this, You're not going to get it because you put this out. Let's put it that way. You'll get it because you did something else in the past.
So
you're not getting it because of this.
Or rewatch Avatar.
I never watched Avatar.
I never watched it either.
But I'm saying, okay.
I'll tell you this: if I see
Avatar, only because it's only an hour and a half and not 5 hours.
If I see a trailer for something and it says from the creator or from the director of the Yu Yu Hakusho live action, I'm not watching it.
Permanently, that's how you feel.
You made your choice. Choices come with consequences.
Well, guys, if y'all are still with us, forgive us if you actually really like the show. We did not. Clearly.
Don't forgive me. Fight me if you like it.
Yo, we can box. What's up?
I can't with y'all, man. We
can run that one.
Well, guys, look, Yu Yu Hakusho is near and dear to our hearts. This was one of my earliest memories of the three of us hanging out is watching Yu Yu Hakusho. So this anime it's not just like a favorite anime to me. This is like, at least for me, because y'all are older than me, so I came to the friend group a little bit late, but this is like the genesis of me meeting Duran is Yu Yu Hakusho. So when they treat it like a $2 whore, I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah, it's a canon event. This is not just some spin-off multiverse. This is canon.
This is canon to my life's timeline.
Kids don't do this, but I remember one time, like, we had like a half day of school, and like I kind of didn't go to class just to go back and watch the anime, bro. Like that's how serious it was back then. Kids don't do that, but that's how it was. I was at Mike's house. Yo, Mike left for school. Like, yo, bro, come over. Like, you got class? I'm like, yeah, it's half day. I'm gonna go over there real quick. And we just watched and chill all day, watch the show. Like that's the type of vibe it was on, but a little different.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, you guys have listened. If you're on this video, you've listened to our trailer review, so you guys know that we were not super optimistic about it. It did not surprise us that it was this bad. I am surprised that they tried to cover as much as they tried to cover in 5 episodes, which just made it even more depressing. Which is why I got a 3 out of 10 for me. But if you guys liked it, let us know in the comments. Tell us why you guys think we're wrong, and Cardo and Duran will respond to you because I'm ready to put this completely behind me. I'm ready to forget this part of my life. So, Duran, Cardell, it's a pleasure. Hopefully, the next thing we review is something that we all like because this was painful to get through. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I know we reviewed the Dark Tournament. I know we did that already, right? I know we talked about Chapter Black. A part of me wants to go back and like review like each saga, bro.
We may have to. I feel like I need to get this bad taste out of my mouth.
Respect, bro. Like
we might have to do that.
We have to go back and like it might be like only 10 episodes at a time. We just may have to.
And you know what? That's a good idea. We should hold on. We should put up a poll on Instagram and ask the fans if they think that we should do like saga reviews of Yu Yu Hakusho. So we can do Saint Beast, we can do Dark Tournament, Chapter Black, Demon World.
Demon World.
Just break it down for people who don't know.
I just finished the anime. I just finished a rewatch of it recently, like a couple weeks ago.
Damn, you might need to start it over again.
For real.
But yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. I think we should definitely do a saga review. I know we've done Dark Tournament already, but happy to do it again. So guys, again, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we'll catch you guys next time.
Peace and love.
Later.
Naruto was the